Hi friends, welcome back. So today's pour is one of those chaotic kinds of pours, but it created a beautiful piece. So I went to the doctor today, and it's those things that could change your life or whatever. But anyway, so I felt stressed, and I figured I pour. So I poured three pieces. I will publish the three of them. I really loved two of them. One I think was a great learning experience for the next time. But anyhow, so this is how I loaded them. So in two of the pieces, I used three 5-ounce cups, and because I'm using a 20 by 20, I needed about 15 ounces, so this kind of worked out really well. I'm also going to be using the Lazy Deborah, or that, Lazy Susan or whatever, that thing that turns around. So I decided that I wanted to pour or layer the cup the same, so that as I do two different pieces utilizing the same colors, which were layered the same way, and hopefully I'll get different results. Then I'll you know show you some that you don't necessarily need to have like a ton of different colors to have some really pretty beautiful pieces. You can do with the basics, and fortunately for me, this time around we have a lot of Arteza colors in here, so they're going to be super shimmery. And of course, I have the 24 karat gold by Deco Art, and as well as a couple of Amsterdam. So for the Amsterdam, I'm using, let's see, the Black Cherry, which is a Modern Masters. Originally started off as Carmine, and I added the Black Cherry into that. I also have, well, the Indian Yellow Hues Arteza. Let's see. Amsterdam is the primary cyan, as well as the blue turquoise. And the blue turquoise is like kind of too liquidy for this, but I'm still gonna add it. And so these are the squeeze bottles that I loaded for the Easter pour. And so now I'm just using them up. And yeah, so I really do like the idea of having the squeeze bottles instead. It allows me to have greater control of how much paint I pour. So I can just squeeze it once, and basically that allows me to control how much I put in there. Now, granted, there's times where more of the paint will come out with one squeeze because maybe there's something blocking the opening and stuff like that. But for the most part, it did control quite a bit of how much paint I put in there, as well as where I wanted it to go. So I'm excited about that. Now, in terms of the base coat, I'm going to be using the leftover of the copper, which is what is it? American? No, Deco Art. And then, when in addition, I'm utilizing some of the antique gold by Folk Art, and as well as a bit of the 24 karat gold by Deco Art, and also I think it's Primary Yellow by Liquitex. No, Primary Yellow. Yeah, it is Liquitex Basics, and yeah, so actually made this kind of mustardy color, which I actually really like, but it's like, one, it might be super thick for the to be a base coat, but it's I'm gonna try it out and see how it goes. Because I'm using the Lazy Deborah, or like to the turnaround thing. I'm not afraid that this may be too thick because I can just keep swinging it and then until most of that excess paint comes off. So it should be fine. And it's not necessarily as covered as I would need if I was aiming to keep negative space. But it's still really beautiful. And yeah, and so I, I put it on the lazy derber so that again, the excess paint will come off. And some of it did fly off, but for the most part, it just sort of stayed. And instead of stopping the lazy Deborah, I decided to start pouring and did a straight pour. And I really loved the outcome of the first cup. Having, being, having the lazy Deborah going while I poured it, I created like these beautiful, beautiful things. And so now for the second part, I think the lazy Deborah was going way too fast, so I just did lines, but the lines are super beautiful. And obviously, you see how they change colors and stuff like that. And I think in any other situation, another artist may have been able to like detect those beautiful colors and would have maybe not put some of those colors on top of colors and stuff like that. Would have been able to just do the lines, but nonetheless, it really is super beautiful. And I think if had I tilted it, I would have like opened it up to much more, to really beautiful colors underneath. But yeah, this one, just the middle, I'm in love with the middle part. Like, I absolutely think it's super amazing, and it's such a gift from the paint goddess. And so I'm happy with the rings as well. I thought about like wrecking them right when I had just poured it. And but then I decided, okay, so this one I won't wreck, I'll wreck the next one. So I'll try to also pour it the same way and like have the lazy Deborah going while I pour my cups of paint onto the canvas. But then I'll wreck those rings, so that way I'll have different compositions, even though I have the same colors, layered the same way. And sorry about the dogs outside. They're having a, yeah. So that one is Pepe. So it's the middle of the night, and he's barking at something. Um. So anyhow, so this piece, I keep, you know, spinning it and stuff like that, but I really am done. I was done like probably like, I don't know, 3 minutes ago, but I continue to spin it just because it seemed like there was too much paint in the middle. And so even though I really love the middle, I'm afraid that if I leave too much paint, it's gonna crack. So that's why I kept spinning it, but I could have left a bit of that of that mustardy yellow as a negative space, because it was such a beautiful color. But I'm hoping that because it did have gold, both the antique gold by Folk Art as well as the 24 karat gold by Deco Art, I'm hoping that that will show up in shimmer once the piece dries. So I brought in Haley to help me pop as many air bubbles as possible. So this piece has to have a ton of air bubbles because one, I did a straight pour. Usually when you do a straight pour, then you'll have a lot of air brought in. But then two, when you're spinning it, you're adding also additional air. So yeah, now here I am showing you how beautiful this middle is. It's just so stunning. And then the outer rings really, for me, I mean, I think of a tree when, unfortunately, when the trees are cut, you see all the rings that are around. It like the outside rings totally remind me of that because some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, and then different colors of the, depending on how much water the tree got, or or the different nutrients in the ground, then the coloration will change. And so that, it totally reminds me of that. And at school at Berkeley, there is a hall where they have this huge, I should have remember how big it is, but it's a huge trunk of a tree that delineates the number of years that that tree was alive, and it actually like it points them out and stuff like that. But I just don't remember how many there were. But yeah, it totally reminds me of that. Now here, sorry, I missed that. I'm showing you the wet piece, like a close up of it. And obviously, like I mentioned before, with these Arteza paints, as well as the 24 karat gold that was underneath, there's just so much shimmer, and the colors are so beautiful. And I love the fact that I have, greens, and I have purples, and I have pinks, and yellows and stuff, and they didn't make any mud. So super excited about that. So yeah, so I really do love this piece. Look at this incredible detail in the middle. It's just so beautiful, and again, it's just a gift from the paint goddess, and I'm just so thankful for it. So yeah, I hope you like it too, because I am in love with it. Just all the different, like, there's so many different elements in here that is just so beautiful. And yeah, I mean, it's just, if I had tried to do this in a traditional way, I would have spent years and years trying to do this. So anyhow, thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you at the next one.